And any book that has Mason Miller is not only not listed, he's not even priced. Like Colton Cowser is priced as if Mason Miller doesn't exist.
They don't think he's going to meet the innings required, minimum, whatever things. That there might be some stipulation that they're going, we're going to put him in there and he's not going to be eligible to win. And we're going to have to give all the bets back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's been Freaky Friday. Ferrall's going out minutes on a mahogany, waxing it up. 100, 200, the bad, say the broken, the bad, apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, along with Carver High. Mafia is running it with Luke. I am your father. Today on C2C, we roll with Gabe Morency from Vancouver, a double shot with Sports Rage, plus Davis Maddock, our buddy from Fantasy Sports Today and C2C. Coach Young will join us as well, and Bob Nightingale, our baseball insider from the USA Today. Carver High, we got a little Brian Dayball today out at Wrigley. I saw some of our old friends were there from Las Vegas at the casino. Some of the people that you and I used to do a lot of shows with, they were on top of Murphy's. I guess Murphy's now has the rooftop open and bar up there. Back in the day, the original Murphy's never had any of that. You had to just sit in the bar and drink old style and watch on TV if you didn't have a ticket to the bleachers. Or if you did have a ticket to the bleachers, you just went there anyway to drink cold old style.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Do you think that people ever just showed up at Murphy's not even caring about the Cub game? They just wanted to sit down and just drink cold old styles. Like that's all that they wanted to do. They don't care. Like they were actually probably bothered that there was a Cub game going on because it got in the way of them just sitting there and drinking cold old styles. I feel like that would happen to some people.
I would put that city and, frankly, Pittsburgh in the top 5 all-time beer-drinking towns. In terms of Pittsburgh, it's Iron City and Icy Light. And in Chicago, it was Old Style. But I would say, two things. One, the Windy City is a city with broad shoulders. They drink booze there like no other. And secondly, I used to work at Blackie's on Polk. I told you before, Bears games. And I would make $500 in tips in 3 hours. I mean, these people drink like they're going to the electric chair. Like, who needs a meal? If we're going to go out, we're going to go out drunk. and they went to Bears games drunk. You have to be drunk to watch the Bears. And that'll be the case with you and I watching them on Hard Knocks. We'll have to be drunk to watch that show.
If you actually wanted to watch it, that's probably the way you would have to go. I'm probably just going to pass. But if it means that there's any of that going well. So there is a baseball game in Chicago this afternoon. Of course, the traditional Friday Businessman Special, if they still call it that, over at Wrigley. The 2:20 East start. They're playing the Reds this afternoon. Ian Happ with a 2-run homer for the Cubbies as they have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third, and they're making some noise right now. 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the third with our boy Belly Bomb up at the plate right now. So we'll see if he could do a little bit of damage for us.
No, he's going to hit into a double play.
You gotta be
He beat
kidding
out
me.
the
Safe,
throw.
He beat it out.
From third to second to first. He beat out the throw, but now there's, he's got at least 1 out at second. They still got runners on the corners.
Runners on the corners with 1 out now for the Cubbies as they try to extend against Cincinnati. Of course, the other live event we have going on is the PGA Tour north of the border at the RBC Canadian Open, where our boy Bobby Mack, the pride of Scotland.
Speaking of drinking.
Bobby Mack, 10 under right now in the clubhouse, by the way. He's done for the day, and he's got a 3-shot lead over a host of guys, including Mackenzie Hughes, the Canadian, Andrew Novak, David Skins, Sean O'Hare, my boy Ryan Crazy Like a Fox, who I'm very involved with, sitting at 7 under right now, 3 shots back. I just saw Rory make a bogey, so he's now at 3 under, 7 shots off the pace.
I got 5 left. Is it true that Rory paid some schmo to deliver the divorce papers to his wife? Like he paid some. He didn't want to deal with her, so he sent some schmo over to drop off the paperwork and give her that glorious news.
I believe if that was the report that I read as well. I guess a couple hours after he won the Wells Fargo there in Carolina, he decided, hey, go take care of this for me. Swing by the house and drop this off on your way. So there you go. We have the golf going on this afternoon as well here on C2C. We will keep our eyes on that. Of course, we have the NBA Finals now set. Scotty, we will dive further into it later, but I guess Luka didn't want to play another game before next Thursday. What do you think, Scotty? The way he came out with his 20 points in the first quarter and absolutely torched Minnesota early and often. What an effort by those guys.
A couple things that stood out to me. One was his logo shot. That I think was his 20th point, the 3 from, it was 45 feet out. And it was all hammer down, back of the rim, straight down, jack, like butter. And then the other thing that got me was when he started up with the fan with the handkerchief that was saying he's a crybaby. And then he said, who's effing crying now? Talking smack to fans, to the Timberwolves bench, to the coaches, to the announcers. Who doesn't he talk smack to about his game? And you know what? He should. He is unbelievable. He came out and said enough of this already. But what really blew my mind was how Kyrie matched him bucket for bucket and had 36 as well. Those two are unstoppable. And, people that think this is going to be some walk in the park for the Boston Celtics are imagining things. Just the word dog for Luka is, that's feast time. Telling him he's an underdog and has no chance against the vaunted Boston Celtics, that's all he needs to get going. He's, I can hear it already. I thought we were big underdogs. I can hear it already. Like, I thought we had no chance against Boston. And remember, this guy likes to put on a show. So get ready, Boston Garden. It's coming. And so is Kyrie Irving. You remember him? They are going to do something crazy at that place. I guarantee it. I think they have a tremendous shot to knock off the Celtics in the final just because of those two players and their other pieces. I honestly, I said earlier that I think Lively gets off the floor a lot quicker than that old bodied Porzingis. I love the zinger, but he can't run. He's already got a bad leg. He never plays. He lumbers up the court. I won't deny the guy can shoot and block shots, alter shots, can hit daggers. That's fine. Lively is way more bouncy and involved. He took on both 7-footers in Minnesota and had no problem wreaking havoc on the T-Wolves. I think Lively is going to have a nice edge with his youthfulness and legs and speed and hops and his intensity. He plays above the rim, and Porzingis doesn't play at the rim. He plays out at the top of the key and shoots, 30-footers and drags defenses out. And obviously they're going to have to put a body on him, but I think they match up well with Boston. I really do.
I think they match up well with him also. We're going to have a full week to talk about this, but I like Dallas a lot in this NBA final. I will be rooting for them hard against the Boston Celtics. We got
Suddenly I'm a Mavericks fan.
We got a Game 5 tonight in Dallas between the Oilers and the Stars. The Panthers took a 3-2 lead on the Rangers last night at the Garden. Did you have that? Did you have the Panthers last night?
Yeah, I did. I had the Panthers minus $1.20, and I also had the Mavs on the money line spread and the over.
There you go. And we got a lot of baseball tonight as well, although we'll get to it at some point.
Missed call the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
With the onset of NIL and the transfer portal, it is allowing players to develop further in college, and guys that would maybe be stuck on the bench at a power program and not have as much shine are having the ability to find themselves in the spotlight.
Lane Kiffin came out and said we need to get bigger and more physical in terms of the offensive defensive lines, and that's why he went out and recruited that talent.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. And it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Dude, did you know BetMGM has responsible gambling tools so you don't get carried away?
I never get carried away. Well, there were the bobbleheads. And the playoff beer.
Chili's ready!
Well, those tools could really help.
Don't forget about the backyard rink.
Yeah, these tools are pretty great.
BetMGM is committed to making gambling safe and fun with responsible gambling tools, so you don't get carried away.
you got to catch Sports Rage late nights on SportsGrid across all of our TV platforms, TV affiliates, TV stations, OTT, streaming services, on radio, on Mightier 1090, ESPN Radio in San Diego, near Tijuana. Do you wanna? Of course, from Mexico to the Canadian Rockies, all over the West Coast, you can hear Sports Rage on 1090 and on Sports Byline USA and all of their great radio affiliates out of San Francisco. Deepak holding it down for us there. And on satellite radio all over the Southern Hemisphere on Sirius XM channel 159, weeknights at 10 o'clock Eastern. It's the best show on TV or radio. So if you're missing out on that, have fun with your wife making soup in the kitchen. Anyway, Morency, I gotta tell you, I'm concerned about you. I really am. I mean, he's at it again. It's D-Gen City. He's now betting on all of the College World Series games on the road to Omaha, and I think he's reading tarot cards to find out which team he's going to bet on and who's on the teams. But take me away. What are you doing over here, bro? It's dangerous. Your lifestyle is you're reckless, out of control.
I'll tell you what, right now I'm stressing out an Army-Georgia baseball game, Scott. And Georgia were big favorites. They're playing at home. It's the Athens regional. They're actually playing at home. Army's winning 5-4 right now. We're in the bottom of the sixth. Wild stuff, Scott. Vanderbilt are pretty good at baseball. They were favorites today. Coastal Carolina are beating them 13-3.
Wow.
Some really fun baseball going on. It's the opening rounds right now. It's a convoluted format. You got to lose twice to get eliminated. It's not single elimination. You got to lose twice. So they have the winners bracket, the losers bracket, etc. as we move forward. Listen, Scott, college baseball has never been off the hook like this. This is the peak. This is the prime era right now of college baseball. Your boy, Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirates, sort of at the forefront of this as well. People are seeing these mega star pitchers in NCAA now just come into the big leagues, and there'll be more of them. So, yeah, I'm fired up. Nothing wrong with some afternoon baseball. Forget about Major League Baseball and all their stupid rules, Scott. Give me some college baseball. Put it in my veins, baby.
You know, when I remember my favorite player ever in college baseball was Will Clark when he was at, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, yeah.
It was like, that was the last time, in my opinion, that college baseball was great, when that guy was playing, and he was intense. And it was the first time I'd ever seen him swing a baseball bat. And then, some people obviously would choose Ken Griffey as, Jr. as the greatest swing ever in baseball history. I would argue the best swing I ever saw in Major League Baseball was Will Clark, and it started at Mississippi State. I know you remember watching him in college.
Yeah, Will Clark, it's true. If you look at his stroke, sort of like that Ted Williams. You know what? He looked like Fred Couples playing golf. Will Clark looked like he was swinging in slow motion, didn't he?
Very smooth.
Just sort of like just talking like, and it was like, all right, he's going to hit the ball. Very smooth. Man, listen, there was some great college baseball players. I think of the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, Auburn, right? Like Michigan has had some really good baseball players over the years, including Barry Larkin, great shortstop, World Series champion. I've always liked college baseball. The aluminum bat thing is a little insane. But I always loved college baseball. But now, like I said, it's just rolling, man. It's at its peak right now. It's a lot of fun. And I think betting has a lot to do with it, too. I've never seen so many people be so informed with college baseball as they are now. It used to kind of be a niche thing.
Do you think Skeens is going to – we said yesterday he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's going to vault into that top spot because he's like must-see TV. Every time he pitches, he's striking out 7 to 10 or more batters and putting on a show.
Scott, I think it might have been a Tuesday or a Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. It was early, and Skeens was plus 1,400 to be Rookie of the Year. And I said, you got to pull the trigger on this. For me, I don't know about you, Scott, if you were a voter, and I'm not saying they're not Major League Baseball rookies, but Yamamoto's not a rookie, bro. The guy was the MVP of the Japanese league, all right? He was a stud in the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
This guy has already struck out big league hitters. Impressive, good pitcher. Imaga, same thing, Scott. The guy's 30 years old, bro. Or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like he's a pro from Japan. He's coming over. He's a Major League Baseball rookie. If I'm voting, I'm like, no, I'm going to give it to the kid that just came out of – this kid was pitching in college 6 months ago, and now he's dominating Major League Baseball hitters. You know, maybe it catches up eventually. It does to everybody, but this kid is special, man. He's got nasty stuff. And for those prices, Scott, you got to buy into the Skeens play here.
So when we were talking earlier about Wrigley Field, I've been there 1,000 times. I've been hammered at Wrigley Field, and I've been at Murphy's just absolutely on my face on the bar, drinking old styles. I saw you earlier talking about the Garden and what it meant to you. Have you been to Wrigley Field and partied and chugged beer?
No, I've never been to a Cubs game at Wrigley. I've been to Chicago and I've seen Wrigley, but I've never been to a Cubs game.
You got to do it. You've done.
I've been to Fenway.
Else.
That's the only one I haven't been. Like all the old stadiums. Like I was at the original Yankee Stadium. I've been to Fenway Park. Dodger Stadium, crazy enough, is the third oldest stadium in the league right now. Doesn't
it's
look
been
like
there forever.
It, feel like it, but yeah, it's been there since the early '60s.
But it's still like brand new.
And I've never been to Wrigley. That's the one, Scott, I've never been to.
You know that Dodger Stadium, I lived there for a long time, like you did. And they treat it like Disneyland. It is as clean as Disneyland.
It really is, yeah. When you walk in, it's amazing.
Really
you're
old.
in like East LA, you're like,
right.
And then you walk in there and you're like, what? Like, it's like a painting.
It's unbelievable.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Morency's with us. You know, my son lives in San Diego. He says he likes lights out TV and violence on television. I think we're on there, aren't we? Aren't you having Sean Merriman on tonight in San Diego on 1090?
Yeah, Sean Merriman's got a media empire growing. He started the Lights Out Extreme Fighting. It's been very successful, actually. You know the fight game, Scott. A lot of people come and go. You put on a card or two. and you realize this is not for me. And I tell you, I've been around entertainment and sports my entire life, guys. And I've been in metal bands. I've owned a racehorse. I've been a degenerate sports bettor. I've been in the TV media industry. I've been in the rock industry. And I got to tell you, Scott, even I'd be like, I'm not becoming a fight promoter. Are you insane? You know all the stuff you got to deal with? Fighters getting arrested, this, that. You know, worry about selling tickets. And I'm like, no way. That's hard to do, man. And Sean's up to like his 15, 16 card right now. Like it's growing. It's rolling. He's got other media companies saying, hey, you know what? We want to be part of this, actually. So good for him. He's a class act. He's always been great to me. I know you're close with him as well.
Yeah.
And he's coming on tonight on the show. And we'll talk some football as well with him. But he's coming on the show, but he specifically said, hey, I want to make sure I'm on 1090 tonight. Not earlier, because, we're on different times and all this parts of the show.
Right.
So for everybody listening in SoCal, lights out tonight at 9:14 Pacific time tonight. Lights out. We'll even take some questions for you. People want to hear about his. Because someone called. He's giving away his Bills jersey. I saw yesterday on Twitter. Someone said, hey, you're a legend. And he said, I'm a Chippewa Street legend. So I'm going to ask about his times on Chippewa Street in Buffalo.
So who do you like tomorrow here at The Rock in Newark at the Prudential Center with Poirier fighting Makhachev in that big 302 card with the UFC?
It's hard to say this, and every time I say this, that someone is a good guy in the fight game, it always turns out they're a lowlife. But Poirier is a likable guy, isn't he? He's always handled himself with dignity and class. He doesn't fall for the bait of, the smack talk and all this type of stuff. And I understand, I can't believe he's as big of an underdog as he is. So everybody's going to take him. He's going to lose. Like, this is not a good matchup for him. Like, it's not a good matchup for him. I think he's going to lose. I don't want to lay minus 600 and stuff, but it's a pretty chalky card, to be honest, Scott. Like, if you look at it, it's not, I don't find it to be a great betting card, at least from my perspective, because I think a lot of the favorites are going to win, and they're big favorites. But as cool of a guy as Poirier is, I think he's going to lose.
Wow. All right. So what did you think of the Panthers last night? I hit them at minus $120 in Game 5. Tomorrow night, they'll have a chance to lift up the Prince of Wales and go to the Stanley Cup final if they can beat the Rangers in Game 6 down in the Everglades. What did you think of their performance at MSG? And while I'm at it, who do you like tonight in Dallas, Game 5, Stars and Oilers?
Last night was a classic example of sometimes the final score not being an indication of what the game was really like. Like 3-2, really? That was an embarrassing performance by the New York Rangers. Like, pathetic. No life, no desperation, no urgency. I think it actually bodes well for them. I know it appears as though Florida are just sort of better than they are. And without Shesterkin, this would be over right now. But the hardest game to win is the last one. The Rangers, hit rock bottom last night. They're lucky it wasn't 13-2 instead of 3-2. It was a pathetic performance from them all around. I like hockey teams coming off of pathetic performances. I saw it with the Vancouver Canucks. They were super flat once, just for out of the blue. And that next game, they come out flying. Doesn't mean the Rangers are going to win the next game, but look for them in the first period. They're going to be better. Home ice doesn't mean anything. I'm going to stand my ground and say we're going 7, Scott. And as far as tonight is concerned, I'm going to roll the dice. I know it's dangerous. I know it's risky, but give me the Edmonton Oilers tonight, Scott. There's something about this. The Oilers are getting to the cup. They're going to do it. They're against all obstacles and all the haters and the doubters and all this. And I find their fans to be super annoying, too. So I find myself pulling for the players on the team, not their fan base. I want to make that clear.
Your boy Mick Lossie's a huge Oiler fan. He gets all worked up about you and your Oiler predictions.
Mick's a fun guy. His Connor McDavid cutout. Too good.
Well, listen, I think Dallas could actually pull this off and not only win tonight, but I think they can win at the Rogers because they're the best road team in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I don't know about you, Scott. I believe the team from the West wins the Cup. I think either one of them are going to beat the team from the East. That's me.
All right, have a great weekend, Francie.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Always great having Morenzi on Tech Sports Rage tonight at 10 East. And you heard him. He's going to have Sean Merriman on late night for everybody in San Diego. They love him in San Diego, near to Yawana. Do Yawana. Wow, impressive Mavs win last night, Carver High. They went into the Target Center, and it was over early.
Yeah, it was over early, Scotty. There's no doubt about that. In fact, like 124 to 103, like I don't even think that does it justice, to be quite honest with you. It really should have been worse, but the Timberwolves were able to get a little add-on there in the fourth quarter during garbage time.
40. It was almost 86-46.
Yeah, they were smashing them. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving both with 36 points in this game. But for Luka, Scotty, it was the first quarter where he absolutely put the foot on the gas and he put the Timberwolves away. You mentioned the logo 3 earlier in the show. I got a couple threes, and I believe the second one, yes, is the logo 3 that gave him a 20-piece in quarter number 1 on TNT.
14 for Luka on the logo. What is going on here? He is on one tonight. Check from Luka. Doncic again, another 3. Got it. He's a flamethrower. He is on fire. 20 points.
I mean, this guy, look, let's not forget. I mean, I have slammed this guy a million times for his whining. And it's only because I say at the same time that he's the best player in the league. I mean, this guy is clearly, in my opinion, now the best player in the NBA. I mean, let's just face facts. They give it to the Joker every year, this MVP that's meaningless to me anymore. Ever since the JoJo Embiid fiasco, I'm done with that award. All I know is this guy, he has led the NBA. Listen, all that matters is the playoffs. All that matters is who wins rings. That's it. No one cares, including you, you of all people. Of all people that I know on this earth that could care less about the NBA regular season, it's Carver High. And you have said that to me 5 million times on air and off. I don't give a rat's ass about their regular season. All that matters is the playoffs. So you get to the playoffs. This guy goes to his first final, and he has led every single player in the NBA in points, rebounds, and assists. He has the trifecta going. He is the best player in the NBA, and he's putting on a show, and he's not done yet. I am telling you, it's coming. It's like a Cat 5 hurricane, and you got 2 days to get out of Florida. You better get in a car, and you better leave early because the traffic's going to be hell. This guy's going to Boston to destroy lives. He will go in there and put on a show with Irving. It's coming. It's coming like as sure as I'm sitting here. Everyone thinks it's Boston this, Boston that. Tomorrow I'm on with this Kaufman fascist who I am good friends with, this little punk. I love Adam, but he's another one. He's another Celtic lover. This guy's in bed with every team in Boston like he works for him. He's on the take. And I'm going to do betting above the rim with this guy tomorrow. I got to listen to him tell me how great the Celtics are. You know who's great? I think Brown and Tatum are great, and I think Luka Doncic is better. He's better than both of them. He's better than both of them. People say that, I've said this to you before, that people think Tatum's the face of the league. Maybe when he's got his little baby boy in his arms and they try to sell you that garbage, like we're supposed to fall in love with him because he's got a son. Who doesn't? Okay? Luka has nothing. He's fat. He eats everything he sees, and he's still the best player in the NBA, and he's going to torch their ass like a 5-foot bong from James Baker. My boy Jerome. You know what's happening. I'm telling you, this guy's going to light them up. It's coming. Be ready.
Look, the best player in this series plays for the Dallas Mavericks. That's Luka. He's the best player in the NBA Finals, whether you like it or not. That's just the case. That's just the facts. He was named, of course, you mentioned all those stats. He was the Western Finals most valuable player. No surprise there. Very proud of his team, Scotty, after the victory.
You know, you guys obviously last year disappointing and up in the lottery. To make this leap, what do you think were kind of the key developments to make this happen just in the span of a year?
Insane. I think we got a great team, but most importantly, we got the great guys on the team. From players to coaches to everybody in the team, we have great guys, and that's the most important thing. Like I said, we stay together and we just play basketball. You know, especially I think we beat 3 very, very, very good teams, and having home advantage, which is pretty good for us.
Listen, he's some of these guys on the team, Washington, Gafford, all these guys, he's known them for 3 months. He never played with them. Okay, and then they brought over Kyrie Irving, and everyone said he's a cancer. And when they brought him to Dallas, that he was going to ruin the team like he ruins every other team he's been on. But that's just not the truth. He won a championship with LeBron, and all he did in Brooklyn was deal with that fiasco that Sean Marks created. He was just part of the problem. He wasn't the reason for all the problems. And then he went to Dallas, and they get along like they're boys, like best friends, like in a gang or something. And then the way he has mixed with the rest of them, like his old boy Kleber, he's been with him forever. You know, they haven't been there since 13 with Dirk Nowitzki, whatever it was. And all I know is they put that thing together. He barely knows half of these guys, and he plays with them like he's been with them for 5 years. They got something going there, and it's really because of Luka and Kyrie. And what they do is they flat out cause so much havoc that everybody else is wide open. I mean, have you ever seen anything like P.J. Washington's jumpers? I haven't seen someone in his face since he wasn't even on the team, okay? No one guards him because they have to worry about those two. Everyone else is wide open on the Mavericks, and they knock down shots, and they're winning. They've kicked everyone's ass. I can't wait to see him kick Boston's ass.
I'll tell you the other thing that was weird to me, and I forgot last night when I was watching, because I didn't watch the second half because it was over, but I flipped it back on to see all the presentation stuff and listen to Luka and Kyrie afterwards. I forgot, Scotty, that Cuban sold most of that team. When they went up there to hand the trophy over to the team, there was some dude standing there I'd never seen before in my life, and it wasn't Cuban, and that was so he showed it to all those casino guys, right? The Las Vegas Sands group. He sold 72% of the Mavericks to. So not seeing Cuban up there was kind of strange. He was out there like hanging out with the players way on the side, But him not having his face pressed up against the camera, accepting all the awards, that was really weird to see.
Yeah, I never thought of that. This is the first time, catching on to that. Like, I knew that he had done that. I just didn't care about him. I'm not all caught up in Mark Cuban's world. I really not. Like, it's funny. You know the story. Like, I grew up with him. He lived in my neighborhood as a child, and he sold garbage bags to old ladies for their lawn and their leaves. And he was like an entrepreneur as a kid. And then he went to Indiana, where I went to school. And I never knew him at IU. And then he hired me to do broadcast.com back in the day when he owned that, when I was big in Los Angeles. But then I've never really had any dealings with him since my LA days, which was so long ago. I left there in 99. So it's been that long. But I'm not a fan of how he operated that team and what went on there in the front office and all the scandals that went on there. I'm not all caught up in him, but I do think that, listen, people talk about superstars and who are the guys who are going to create the biggest scene in this final? And I think it's those two. I think Brown is unbelievable. I think Tatum's unbelievable. We've already seen Tatum go to the finals, though, and lose. So I've heard about how great he is, and then I saw him lose. So he needs to win one himself. And I don't think Luke is going to let him do it.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Once a day, play our free-to-play BetMGM Swing for the Fences for a chance to win great daily prizes. Play as the batter and pick an area of the strike zone. Get a single, double, triple, home run, or flyout. Played once a day. Free-to-play promotion for BetMGM Sportsbook. BetMGM Sportsbook account holders who play our BetMGM Swing for the Fences are going to have the opportunity to win a reward if they get a hit. Reward types include parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost tokens, bonus spins in eligible casino states, and even bonus bets. All rewards expire in 24 hours. Check it out. Swing for the fences at BetMGM. Go to BetMGM.com for terms and conditions and download the BetMGM mobile account for yourself on iOS or Android. I think you'll dig it. And all the great promotions they got going on in every sport, including, obviously, baseball.
There it is. Make sure you get involved. I already did this morning, Scotty, and I got a single. So I'm in the mix now here at BetMGM. I got to get that working. I got 24 hours to go ahead and do that. All right, let me give you a couple other things from last night. We heard from Luka. Let's hear from Kyrie. Of course, me and you have been completely taken aback by the 1-8 that Kyrie has done here since he has gotten to Dallas, especially in the last couple of months. Excited to make it back to the NBA Finals. Of course, been there a bunch of times with LeBron in Cleveland, won it once. Now back on the biggest stage. He's excited.
We had to earn our spot into the NBA Finals, and we had to go against some great opponents, OKC, Clippers, Wolves, and I feel like they got us better as a team. They really challenged us on the defensive end, made us focus in, and, I thanked every single one of them like I did the previous two series for making me better. And it has been 7 long years, but it's also felt like the right amount of time, in order to reward myself, be in the locker room with my teammates and enjoying it. Long time coming. So we are going to enjoy this, but we obviously know this is just a pit stop in the journey, and we got to get ready for, that court turning gold, as I like to say. The shoes turn gold, the jerseys turn gold, and, as a kid, that's what you dream of, getting to. Is the finals and being able to play against the best of the best with the whole world watching.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even recognize this guy. We saw on a nightly basis here in New York a different guy entirely. I don't even literally know who that guy is right there, but I like him a lot better than the guy that was in Brooklyn. And I have to tell you, I think he's obviously matured a lot. He's found a place where he's actually happy. This is different than playing with LeBron James, I think. And he hit the game winner, not LeBron. He hit it. And he wanted to be his own man. And then he got on that super team, and I don't think he liked that at all. Then he went with a guy that's like LeBron, just bigger than life. This guy, Doncic, is just gigantic. What he's become is literally, it's unthinkable how he's taken over the NBA since he came from Slovenia. This guy, he even said he's never seen a playoff game in his life as a child because he was in bed and he had to go to school and never watched it. And then, this guy's won at every level, and now he's gone to the NBA Finals. And then I think it really makes Kyrie enjoy it more, seeing and partnering up. It's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's what I see. I see this guy that's just like, this is fun. And I am balling out. That shot he made last night, high off the right corner glass that went in off of Jimmy Kiss, was the best drive, the best bucket I've seen in the NBA playoffs by anybody. And, there's a lot of guys that can shoot logo threes. Luka does it like he's having a sandwich. So does Steph Curry. But I want to see guys make that shot where he drove with a guy in his face who was 7'2", and he put it up on the top, literally the top tape of the glass, and it went straight into the basket from an angle that was absolutely absurd. He had so much Jimmy on it and English. He's a badass. I am telling you, these two are showmen. They're not just great guards. They're going to put on a show in Boston, and no one there, including all their famous fans and actors and all their morons and Southies, you're about to have someone bust your dreams up. They're coming in there to ruin and cash your buzz. It's going to happen. Notice, no one can stop either one of them. Now, I don't deny that Brown and Tatum are good. I just think these two guys are better.
Can you imagine if I told you like a year and a half ago that we'd be rooting for the end of this great Kyrie Irving redemption story to win an NBA championship? We would have both thought you were absolutely nuts. That was actually, and that's what we're doing here. I want Kyrie and Luka to win. I want the Mavs to win the NBA Finals. And think about when they busted up that team too, Scotty, in Brooklyn, that super team. Durant, everybody thought he'd go and win in Phoenix. Everyone thought Harden would go and win with Embiid, right, in Philly.
They're
before
worse
that all
now
got
than
bad.
they were in Brooklyn.
And Kyrie's going to be the guy who's going to come the closest and potentially do it out of those three guys that they busted
And
up
get a second
in
ring.
Brooklyn.
Just like
And get
Durant.
a second ring.
And Durant's were rented. He got rented rings because he got to play with the Warriors. So he was on a team that was already winning titles, and then he came along, and then that, how about this guy? Is there anyone more stuck up in the history of the NBA than Durant that he left that team? Who in their right mind would leave that team with Bob Myers running it and all those championships? I mean, is Patrick Mahomes leaving Kansas City? You don't leave great teams because you think you're some kind of badass. You know what's happened to him since he left there? He's been haunted by it. He can't win anywhere.
Can't win
And
anywhere.
he's never winning again.
It's very possible. Very possible.
It's reality.
Very possible.
He can't even
will come
sniff
back.
it. He can't even sniff it. He can't even win a playoff game.
Yeah, they didn't do that this year, that's for sure. We'll come back, and we will say goodbye quickly to the Timberwolves, and then I have all the early numbers for you for the NBA Finals. Yes, we have some days to wait, but we have the series odds, Game 1 odds, Celtics and the Mavs. We'll give you all those.
Here's another one for you. Rudy Gobert is the Defensive Player of the Year. My ass.
I know.
Wembanyama is the Defensive Player of the NBA. Got that. Broke ass Gobert.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I thought Edwards was lighting it up last night, Mike, but too little, too late. I mean, you know what happened? He was still in the stall when the horse was rounding the first turn, and that was Doncic. My man was trapped in the gate because he didn't show up until he already had 20. Then all of a sudden he started knocking down bomb threes himself, but it was too late. I thought Towns and him had really good games. Tell me what happens when two guys have 28 each. You'll win 90% of the games, but not when the other two guys have 36 each.
Yeah, look, I think that the Timberwolves, Scotty, they just played somebody better. I mean, and that's what happens in the playoffs. And I think despite them going home last night, this was a big few weeks for them, right? This was a huge run for them in what they did, beating Phoenix, beating Denver, kind of bringing Ant up to that next level. Nobody wins the first time they get there. Tell me who in the NBA out of all the greats wins the first time they're in the last four, they're in the NBA. It doesn't happen very often.
Right.
So I think it was a good experience for Anthony Edwards. I think he probably needs a little bit of tweaking on that team. I don't know if that team, the way it is right now, is good enough to beat teams like Dallas or Boston or some of these other ones. But they're going to be around for a while, especially with how good Anthony Edwards is. And he says he'll be back, Scotty.
And your first real deep playoff run, how much did you enjoy just what playoff basketball has to bring?
It's fun, man. I love it. I wish we could still play. I wish we was going back to Dallas for Game 6. But those guys came out and they competed at a high level. And like I said, man, big shout out to them. But it's super fun, and I'm looking forward to being back right in this situation next year.
He's a great player. Here's my problem with that team. And, you heard me before. I think Towns is really talented, and I think he can score ad nauseum. But I also think he's a whiner. And I also think he's a giraffe. I think he's a tall, slow-ass giraffe who is already overweight and already slow. And I see him getting roasted in transition all the time. And it's only going to get worse as he gets older. Trust me, it only gets worse. I am slow as a mule. And when you get older, you lose your ability to run fast. When you don't run fast in the NBA, you get roasted. They will get burned on that deal by him. And let me say another thing. I think Rudy Gobert is the most overrated galoof that I've ever seen play. He is terrible. He has no talent at all offensively. Zero. All he can do is lob dunk. That's it. You give him the ball in the low block. I think he travels 7 out of 10 times with his feet moving when he's, getting the ball. He walks like nobody's business, and they don't call it. And then defensively, he didn't stop anybody. Okay? So I said it before, I'll say it again. Wembanyama, hands down, better defender than him. Hands down. I'll also put Chet Holmgren as a defender and shot blocker, shot alterer above him. I think he sucks. I think he holds him down. He doesn't make him better. I think he holds him down. And I don't think they have plans on getting rid of either one of them. And if you just saw the proof's in the pudding. With them, you got what you just got. And I say again, you bring them back again, they're not winning with those two. I don't care what you say. I'm not a fan of either. I don't think they're that good.
I don't think they can. I don't think anybody would want to take Rudy Gobert's deal. He's one of the 15 highest paid players in the league right now. Cat's problem is, as you said, he doesn't rebound and he doesn't play defense. And for a guy his size, you'd like to be able to do both of those things. And I think he chucks it way too quickly. Like the ball gets in his hands behind the 3-point line. It's like, boom. He doesn't even think about it. He's just chucking. And right. I think they would look to move him, honestly. If they found a deal, I think that they would try to move on from him. But I think it's going to be hard to move Gobert.
He scores too much, and Gobert gives them scoring. If he has a 13-10 double-double, they consider that a big night. This other guy scores 30, 40 points in games. But I'm telling you, you said it. You don't play no defense and can't run. He cries as much as Doncic. Like, this guy wants an and one every time he shoots, and he's screaming and yelling at the refs, and he wastes so much time at the one end complaining. The other guy's going down dunking the ball. That's a liability at some point, if you ask me.
It's like they're both there to counter each other, right? Gobert's there to make up for Cat not playing D and rebounding. Cat's there to make up for Gobert not having offense. Can't have two guys for that. One guy.
And he's been there and he's never got it done.